Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. Today I am coming at you with one of my favorite topics in the whole world, and that's hair color. And under that, there are subcategories, and my most favorite subcategory under that topic is shadow roots. So a lot of people aren't quite sure what a shadow root is, or some people call it a root smudge. Those two terms I think are kind of the most common ways that the technique's thrown around. Shadow root is when after color is done, whether it's highlight or balayage, the colorist goes on and they paint a semi-permanent color right at the root just to blur the line between the color. It is great for blurring out the demarcation line, so when our hair grows out, it's not as harsh of a line. I talked about that demarcation line a few weeks ago in another Tip Tuesday. Another great reason that I personally love a shadow root is because when you are naturally pretty darn dark, but you like being blonde, sometimes the contrast between where the highlight is or the balayage is and your natural hair color is such a stark difference that when you do highlights, it can look a little bit more obvious. And so I like a good old-fashioned traditional highlight. I know that a lot of people aren't getting those anymore, but me personally, because a lot of times I have to do my own hair, I still do a traditional highlight, but I go in and I shadow root it. So today, right now, I'm coming at you with freshly highlighted hair that I just did in my bathroom, and you're gonna be able to see what it looks like now before I put the shadow root on, and then I'll show you afterwards. So let's get up close and personal. So you can see, also, this is not what highlights look like when I do them on my clients. I did it on myself in my hallway bathroom. So these are not the highest caliber of highlights, but it's all we got. So you can see, so I took my hair pretty blonde. My natural color, which you can see back here, is pretty darn dark. And if you get close, you can kind of see my natural against the blonde. There's a big difference. So when I go in and I put the shadow root or the root smudge, the color that's on there is slightly darker than the highlights that I have and slightly lighter than my natural. So it just kind of blends things in. A lot of times when I suggest a shadow root to people, they think that I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna give them roots. You'll see in just a moment, that's not what happens. It just gives it this soft, beautiful, natural looking blonde. And sometimes you can feel blonder with a shadow root because it looks more like your hair is naturally blonde. It's a really great thing to help if you want to go a little bit longer between appointments. A lot of people ask me, what are the biggest trends in hair color, or what's something new that I can do with my hair? This is a great way to switch it up a little bit. Right now, we're not seeing this I just went to the salon and got my highlights done and they're right at my root and it's super blonde. We're seeing more of this like really soft, lived-in look. Again, you're not gonna look less blonde with this, and I'll show you that in just a minute. This just gives it a more natural feel, and it's softer and it's pretty. And so right now, go ahead, take a look. Here are my roots without the root smudge. They're very bright, very blonde. I even have a little bit of a 2004 Kelly Clarkson look. But let's check it out with the shadow root and the after. All right, so you can see I put the root smudge on. Let me get real close here. Look at how much softer that is at my root. It gives it more of this natural blonde look as opposed to, oh wow, look, she just had her highlights done. It's nice and blonde right at her root. It just gives this more, it looks like it's more growing out of my head. Do I look any darker? I don't feel any darker. I actually feel blonder because it looks like it's part of my natural hair color. So again, I like going pretty dark. This is actually, I took it pretty dark at my root. If you're nervous, we can take you there with steps, or we could start with like a lighter root smudge. I have done this on so many clients, and if you're watching this and you're one of my clients, raise your hand, comment below how grateful were you that we did this before quarantine. Because I know that having a root smudge and having a shadow root, I would have gone crazy during quarantine, not being able to get my roots touched up. It just grew out softer. Yeah, I had roots, but it wasn't this like harsh grow out line where it looked like I had, you know, this skunk stripe. So this is just something that the next time you come in for a color, if you're used to getting those back-to-back highlights, this is such a great way to kind of just elevate the look, give you a subtle change, and give it a more natural look. And a plus is that you might be able to go a little bit longer in between appointments. I have a lot of clients that have started doing this. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I'll see you next Tuesday.